Hi, welcome to our channel Good New. My country has finally attained the pinnacle of chip research and development after many years of hard labor. However, due to the United States' change of the laws, another barrier to my country's semiconductor growth has been erected. This impediment is chip manufacture. In terms of chip manufacture, TSMC is unable to OEM for our nation due to American regulatory limits. However, Chinese firms do not lack chip foundry leaders. This company's name is SMIC. SMIC is one of the world's top 5 chip producers, having mature and sophisticated chip foundry capabilities. In a market where chips are scarce, SMIC grabbed market opportunities, increased manufacturing capacity, won several major orders, and generated excellent revenue and net profit outcomes. Furthermore, SMIC is expanding capital expenditures to deploy the market on a 31.7 billion yuan scale. What wise decisions did SMIC make to reach such success? How does SMIC, which has accomplished much, continue to progress? Can SMIC's route help China's chipmakers rise? Can Chinese businesses replicate the SMIC model? The performance report for SMIC has been published. SMIC issued its audited 2021 annual performance report on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange on March 30th evening. Overall, SMIC's income for the entire year of last year totaled 35.63 billion yuan, a 39.3% rise year-on-year. Profit reached 10.73 billion yuan, up 147.7% year-on-year. This income performance is really the greatest SMIC has ever achieved since its inception. The growth in the number of wafers sold by SMIC and the average selling price last year was primarily responsible for SMIC's revenue explosion. Rises and the product mix shifts. Such sales numbers are undoubtedly positive for SMIC, demonstrating that the company is on the right course. What decision has SMIC taken in terms of production expansion? The scarcity of cores on the market reflects several issues and forces chipmakers to recognize the relevance of capacity. Although various reasons contribute to the scarcity of cores, the greatest solution to the supply deficit is to boost supply and accelerate market demand. SMIC has not lagged behind, and has taken the same decision as the main chipmakers to expand output. So, what decision has SMIC taken on manufacturing expansion? In addition to the existing manufacturing projects, SMIC is developing chip projects in the 3 first-tier cities of Shanghai, Shenzhen, and Beijing, benchmarking the 28 nanometers process and growing 12-inch wafer production capacity. According to Zhao Haijun, SMIC's joint CEO, if all 3 projects are fully operational, SMIC's overall production capacity would double. This demonstrates how critical SMIC's industrial project is right now, and it is linked to whether it can satisfy the massive demand in the future. SMIC has demonstrated its advantages in this industry, particularly with mature technology, and has enough confidence to compete with any other firm in the world in similar goods. SMIC made the correct decision in terms of satisfying domestic demand, in addition to actively expanding production capacity. According to SMIC statistics, net profit in 2021 will be $1.702 billion, a 137.8% rise year-on-year, while sales will be $5.443 billion, a 39.3% increase year-on-year. As can be observed, SMIC's market performance in terms of sales and net profit increased significantly year-on-year last year. What does this have to do with domestic supply and demand? Because the majority of SMIC's income and earnings are generated on the mainland. According to SMIC data, income from the mainland and Hong Kong accounted for 64% of total revenue. Such a percentage of revenue contribution demonstrates not just SMIC's market concentration on the mainland market, but also actively addresses the demands of the mainland market. After all, China is the world's largest chip purchaser. It cannot rely only on foreign corporations to develop plants on the mainland or import chips to fulfill demand. It also needs the support of local chip producers. Overall, SMIC made the correct decision in terms of production expansion and local demand supply. The goal of increasing production is to master the capacity to adapt to market fluctuations. With factories on hand, we can do it whenever there is a demand. Even if domestic demand decreases, it may boost export activities, gain income, and build strength. In terms of meeting domestic demand, the bigger the supply of SMIC to the country, the more helpful it will be to strengthen domestic chip self-sufficiency. SMIC has accomplished much. How can it continue to grow? All of SMIC's success surpassed expectations, and it even helped many forget that the US was also interested in this Chinese corporation. Fortunately, everything is moving in the right way, but how could SMIC go gradually now that it has accomplished so much? In light of market demand and SMIC's current circumstances, it may be preferable to enhance production capacity and regulate talent. The first step is to reduce manufacturing capacity. Chip imports continue to dominate the domestic chip consumer market. It imported $432.55 billion last year, a 23.6% rise over the previous year. In addition to imported high-end processed chips, China can make components and integrated circuits such as processors with mature manufacturing methods. It is not difficult to achieve this component of the chip manufacture given the benefits of a large local supplier chain. It is just the cause of the low manufacturing capacity, which must be addressed by importing. As a result, in the case of my country's aim of 70% chip self-sufficiency, it must be solved by significantly increasing production capacity. SMIC is the largest chip maker on the Chinese mainland. The higher the capability, the greater the responsibility, as the adage goes. This portion of the load cannot be removed. The second is talent management. Chip manufacture needs a big number of skilled individuals to provide research and production assistance. No matter how serious the situation is, there is hope to conquer it with abilities. SMIC can now mass-produce 14 nanometers processed chips in a stable manner, while 7 nanometers development is ongoing. Whatever the development of the study, SMIC needs to pay greater attention to regulating abilities. Because SMIC has regularly heard about key executives retiring within the next year or so. Fortunately, SMIC has enough integrity to maintain former SMIC Technology R&D Vice President Wu Jingang, Independent Director Yang Guanglei, Vice Chairman Jiang Shan, and Executive Director Zhou Zixue, among others, who wanted to depart. Although it is usual for a corporation to have employee changes, SMIC must maintain talent control throughout the critical period of developing production capacity. Overall, as we look back and forward to SMIC's history and future, everything appears to be on track. SMIC intends to invest 31.7 billion yuan in capital projects, which will most likely be completed this year. Furthermore, SMIC made the correct decision in terms of growing production and meeting local demand. However, there is still more work to be done. I am hopeful that SMIC will produce improved outcomes, perform well in talent management, and live up to its aspirations. Let us hope that SMIC would make consistent efforts in the future to lead China's core to rise as soon as feasible. Thanks for having your watching in this video. You can add your ideas or suggestions below. Please keep following our channel and like our videos.